Coming up on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today, we will explain how the Seahawks are about to do something spectacular with DK Metcalf and Jaxon Smith-Njigba. We'll tell you what that is and do a deep dive coming up in just a matter of moments. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Before we go any further in today's show, I want to make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We're closing in on 59,500 subscribers to the channel, just a little less than 200 away from reaching that next milestone. For the latest happenings in your favorite team all year long, with daily news and rumors, live shows every Wednesday, watch parties every game day, as well as our breaking news and Q&A mailbags. It is your one-stop shop for all things Seahawks. If you are a real member of the 12s, you got to be subscribed to Seahawks Today. Be a friend, tell a friend. Make sure all your friends are subscribed to the channel, and you'll be glad you did. The 1-2 punch of DK Metcalf and Jaxon Smith-Njigba had a very good showing against the San Francisco 49ers, and that was just a glimpse of what's to come for these two in the very near future. Let's go by the numbers for you and break down the statistics of what we saw from these two. JSN with his second straight 100-yard receiving game as he had 10 catches off of 11 targets with an 11-yard average and a 20-yard long. And DK Metcalf had 7 catches for 70 yards with about a 10-yard average there and a 26-yard long, and both of them were just brilliant in that game against San Francisco. And you think about, let's start with DK for a moment here. This was his first game back from injury. In all honesty, we did not know what version of DK Metcalf we were going to see. If he was 100% up to speed, if he was fully healthy, if there would be any limitations, and he was back like he never left. DK was fantastic and picked up right from where he left off from earlier in the season prior to the injury. If you recall, before the injury, DK was on pace to have a career season with some fantastic numbers when it came to his receiving stats in both catches, yards, average, touchdowns. He's already broken a couple of records this year with the most 50-plus yard receiving touchdowns in franchise history. Also became the first player ever for the Seahawks to have 3 straight 100-yard receiving games. Big deal for DK to do what he did. And then when you look at JSN, in his absence, it was the next man up mentality. The first game was a little shaky against the Bills. But then the next game against the Rams, we really saw JSN flourish as the number 1 wide receiver in that game against LA. And then he did it again in this game against San Francisco. And now you look at his numbers. Granted, he's played more than DK has, but he's leading this team in receiving now with 60 catches, 678 yards, 11.3 yards reception, and 3 touchdowns. And now that you got DK up to full speed, playing like he did prior to the injury, and JSN, who's come into his own when DK was out and picked up where he left off and continued that with what he did in San Francisco, I am of the mindset, based on the data that we've shown you and what we've seen with our own eyes, and I got 4 eyes, I see it very well here, folks, that the best is yet to come with these two. That now you got DK doing his thing and JSN doing his thing, and going forward to the second half of the season, watch out. The rest of the National Football League should be on notice for what these guys are about to do as a tandem together going forward. And not to mention, you still got Tyler Lockett there and some really good skill position players. We'll break it down a little bit further and talk about the roles for each of these two in just a moment. Let's ask you first on our pinned comment today, are you all in on DK Metcalf and Jaxon Smith-Njigba? If you're all in, I need you to spam A for all in. I want to see at least 300 A's. I'm all in. I'm spamming A. Are you all in? Type A for all in. If you're not all in, you're just a hater. Type H for hater. Let us know in the comments section below. Let's tell you about today's sponsor. That is Public Rec. I'm wearing my Public Rec shirt today. It looks good. It's extremely comfortable. And you got to get yours too, folks. Let's be real, guys. Wearing nice pants sucks. Who decided that stiff, uncomfortable fabric squeezing your family jewels was the key to looking sharp? Well, here's an early holiday gift from me to you. Those days are finally over. Public Rec's Daymaker pants are here to make sure you stay comfy and classy this season. They feel like your favorite sweats, but look like tailored pants. Yup, super stretchy with an elastic waistband so you can rock them anywhere. Give the gift of comfort to yourself or someone you love this holiday season with Public Rec's Daymaker Pants. And for a limited time, you can get 20% off your entire order with code CHAT20 at publicrec.com. That's 20% off when you use promo code CHAT20 at publicrec.com. I got to tell you, folks, I'm such a believer in Public Rec. I hope my dad isn't watching because I think I'm going to have to get him some Public Rec for the holidays, whether it's a shirt or the pants, whatever it may be. He's going to love it. Your dad, your brother, cousin, aunt, uncle, whoever, they're all going to love some Public Rec, folks. Public Rec not only has the most comfortable pants ever made, but they have a huge selection of high-quality everyday basics. You can revamp your entire wardrobe with their perfect-fitting polos, shorts, and hoodies. Stop suffering in regular pants and give the gift of comfort this holiday season. For a limited time only, our listeners get 20% off when you use code CHAT20 at checkout. That's 20% off with code CHAT20 at publicrec.com. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Say goodbye to pants that put up a fight, because when comfort meets style, you have found Public Rec. All right, back to DK and JSN here. The thing that I like about both of them that works so well for this offense, even though they're both putting up very good numbers, they're doing it in two completely different ways, and it's a compliment to each other. They're playing complementary football. Let me explain a little further. Let's start with JSN. We've seen JSN really just own the short stuff. If JSN was a golfer, his short game would be fantastic based on the way that he just owns that space in the field as far as that goes. You break it down a little further and go over his PFF grades, and you see the deep passing game. He's only had 3 receptions of 20-plus yards or more this season. And even though it's a small sample size, it's actually been pretty good with 3 catches for 99 yards and a touchdown. But then you start to take it a step further, and you see where JSN really starts to find his footing. The medium passing game, 10 to 19 yards, fantastic grade, 12 catches, 201 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The short passing game, 0 to 9 yards. When the Seahawks are kind of in those third and medium opportunities, JSN has been Geno's go-to guy, as he's got a terrific grade, 38 catches, 344 yards. Behind the line of scrimmage, 7 catches, 34 yards, grade of about 77.6. So then you compare that to DK Metcalf, and this is where we talk about the two both doing things well that complement each other. DK stretches the field a whole lot more than JSN does, and that's okay. You look at these statistics here. You look at the deep passing game for DK Metcalf. His receptions of 20-plus yards or more this year, 10 total, 334 yards, 3 touchdowns, a near-perfect receiving grade in those receptions of 20-plus yards or more. The medium range, just 7 catches for 92 yards with a grade of about 88. The short range, 23 catches, 209 yards. And then behind the line of scrimmage, his grade there, a 62.5 receiving grade with 2 catches for 3 yards on that front. So you see the difference between the two of what JSN does as opposed to what DK Metcalf does. And now that both of them are coming into their own, they're both playing at a high level, the more that Metcalf and JSN shine, it's not just going to make each other better, but it should also create opportunities for the rest of the offense, including the run game to explode as well. The offensive line's got to do a little bit better. You guys know that. But the more we see both of these guys do well, it's going to be hard to cover everybody else and create other opportunities for their skill position players to shine. DK Metcalf pointed this out, actually, even just a couple days ago. He said the following: I mean, it just opens up the offense that much more. Whether we're having to double team, me and him and Locke gets open, we're able to run the ball and get Ken gasses them or Zach gasses them for a long run. I think it just puts more pressure on the defense to have to cover our skill positions. And you think about this run game here. We've been waiting, right? We know K9 is a very good back. Zach Charbonnet, I think, is very capable. He's shown enough flashes. These guys have been able to punch it in. Each of them with a decent number of touchdowns, 7 for Kenneth Walker, 4 for Zach Charbonnet. But the more defenses have to fear this passing attack, and what DK Metcalf and what Jaxon can do, it's only going to create more opportunities for everyone else, like the run game or for Tyler Lockett or for the tight ends as well. And that's why I can sit here and be of the belief that I think this best football is still in front of this Seahawks team. You came off the bye week, got a chance to reset. You got a road win against San Francisco. The offensive line should improve over the next few weeks with the addition of Abraham Lucas into the fold here. I think there's a lot of reason to be optimistic about this offense and what they're going to do. Going to do some serious damage, I think, in the coming weeks. Do you believe in the Seahawks offense? Are you all in? Type B for believe, D for don't. Weigh in the comments section. Let us know what you think. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. For continuing Seahawks coverage, subscribe now, and we'll see you next time.